If you're taking our words and really listening to them, don't assume anything we say is 100% truthful because you can get caught up in the matrix. It's like speaking of gurus, like Anik Singal. I don't know if you heard about this one, Theo, but one of the B tier or maybe C tier, even. No, I'll put him B tier. I'll give him B tier because he's been around. A B tier guru, Anik Singal, who's who had a process called Learn, not a process, a company called Learn, LURN, and he released some books and was doing a lot of promotions and the typical guru thing. Hey, you can make money by doing this and this, but he got caught up with the FTC, and the FTC actually put an article on their government website, which I usually don't see these getting sent around. So that's why it's funny. So this is from FTC.gov. FTC settlement suggests learn didn't learn from penalty offense notice about money making claims. So I'm like, oh dang, you got the government throwing out jokey titles like this. So yeah, this dude said,
This is crazy.
yeah, I mean,
What you about to say? What did he say exactly?
his startup incubator program claimed that consumers could quote make more than $13,700 per day. Seems like a very exact number by using the exact steps that he used to generate millions of dollars online by just using an email and other people's products. So you've heard about that kind of thing where you just get other people's products, affiliates, or drop shipping, or maybe fulfillment, but somebody else's product. So basically, start from nothing, and then all of a sudden you're making $13,700 per day. And he made it seem very obvious that this was a fact, not a what do you call it? He wasn't just saying he never did the disclaimer that hey, these results are not typical.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, man. These gurus are under attack right now, Mr. Benja. I talked about I'm on Dan Henry's group, and they're all running scared. They're like, "Oh, what's going on?" This compliance is becoming real. I told you I was part of a what's the other guru out there, Ryan Pineda, right? He does real estate. They're the same way. A lot of other gurus have talked about that the FTC has targeted them. I think what we saw was there's a lot of gurus hit up before pandemic that was doing pretty well. The pandemic hit and they did extremely well, and because of YouTube, and I think a lot of these folks grew a lot of followings pretty quickly during the pandemic days because that's where everybody was. And so they made so much money. But what's happening is we all know there's a backlash to everything. People are like, wait a minute, I paid all this money to this guy and I didn't get the results he told me and he promised it to me. And so
Yeah,
now the FTC, to me, complaints. The FTC's got to do what they do finally. And so now these gurus are like, oh, crap. We made these promises and people to get not look, I'll be honest with you. Look, you pay you put in what you get out of it, right? You pay what you work what is worth,
hmm,
but you gotta put you work into it, right? Now, look, this is their perception, their framework. Everybody's got a framework, right? You and I have
yeah,
frameworks that we go by. They work, sometimes they don't. And then if they work for us, they may not necessarily work for the other person. But I guess these gurus weren't really looking at how to make more of the students more successful. Either they create a new offer that helps them make more of a
yeah,
success, or they try to filter more folks coming in to make sure they're going to likely have the success. And that was the problem. I think they just didn't really, they were making so much money. It's, oh, just let everybody in. And they're paying, right? But then people are like, I'm not getting the results. And so I think that's what we were seeing a lot of backlash on it. And so now these gurus are scrambling. They don't want to sell what they call high ticket offers anymore, $20,000, $10,000. They're trying to sell you these continuity programs. But I can tell you as someone who has a kind of a continuity program is just basically something that you pay monthly, like a software as a service. But the challenge with that is they fail to remember that they're not good at fulfillment, a lot of them. So basically, you have to provide value consistently, or people will drop you like a bad habit. If you're not creating value consistently to make people want to
yeah.
pay every month, they have to think about paying you every month, it's not gonna last. So I've seen it even from Dan Henry's side. I've seen his has gone down a little bit, right? Because there's just not enough value there. So anyway, I say all to say is like these gurus are trying to figure out how to reshape what they offer with this new internet age. And so I think a lot of them pivot to AI, but I still think this almost still marketing fluff. It's not real. It's just more to get in the room. But we'll see. The FTC is
So,
coming down on them, so that's going to
yeah.
prevent them from doing growing as fast. So there's a lot of moving parts here.
So let me ask you this then. At what point do you call somebody a scammer?
Good point. I know JT the pocket watcher would say, "But a scammer." I don't know what it's just. I don't know, man. It's just people. I don't know what. I get it, man. You're a grown person. That you should be able to do your research and figure this out. If you're paying someone that much money, I wouldn't pay anybody any money until you do thorough research and you've gotten some value from them initially. So I don't understand how these people are feeling scammed. But I don't know, Mr. Benja, what would you feel it would make people feel like someone's a scammer?
So now the hard work thing and the actually applying the steps is clearly one thing that a lot of people, I think, miss out on. Like when someone says, "Hey, okay, you get into this program, do this and this, call these people, do this," and there's a lot of steps, and then someone complains, "Oh, these aren't the steps I liked," or "This is just something goofy. It's not what I expected," and then they call it a scam. That's that's like
Or they thought they're gonna make $1 million and they made $100. That's
right.
good. You're on a path, but you
On the
may
path.
not
There
get
you
to the
go.
yeah, but you may not get to the millions. And I think and maybe it's the fault of guru. They need to explain that better and communicate that because
Yes,
if they
yes,
don't,
definitely.
people are gonna call FTC.
Yeah,
And everybody's watching their pockets right now. Let's be honest. We're in a recession. People are
yeah,
feeling the pinch. It's not like it was the heyday of Bitcoin. Boom, 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 NFT. Boom. Them days are gone, man. People are like watching pockets.
yeah.
I don't
So
know.
it's dangerous out there, but I tend to I buy a low ticket priced thing, see what they're about, learn about them,
Yeah.
and say, okay, this is what they're about. And then when they ask for the high ticket thing, I can guess, okay, I see where this might go or what you could have access to. Like even with Derek Grace's thing, right? Dude just smells scammalicious.
He does. I don't know.
But
How you do it?
yeah, but he's very clear and forthright. He's, "Hey, look, this is what I'm offering you, this and this." And he even said, "If you join up in this little group, we're gonna have special guests." David Banner showed up one time, 19 Keys showed up. There was like, who's that? Ti showed up one time. And so he was like, "Yeah, that's the value. You got a room full of people, and they were able to talk to these stars they'd never have access to. So that was the value." And everybody was like, "Oh, okay." I wasn't scammed out of direct knowledge from these people or whatever.
Yeah.
That happened. So
So in the show notes, or not the show notes, but the chat window here, I put you another young on the come up guy. Right, he's got a
yeah.
smaller following, but I was just looking at his stuff and I was talking to my team about him. It's just you can see. I'm not saying his name right now, but maybe we'll talk about offline. But you
Mm,
can see some of the younger ones. They're trying to draw attention with numbers and dollar signs, and then you go to their funnel, the website, right? He's doing this thing called a value stack. He said, look, if you join my program, you're gonna get this thing is worth $10,000. This thing is worth $18,000. This thing is worth twenty
yeah,
thousand
yeah.
dollars. But guess what? You only gonna, have to pay $97. He is in that path of being scammalicious because
Yeah.
that value stack is this really something someone would pay $10,000 for, or have you sold it for $10,000? So they're saying things like the value stack could be something that the FTC is really going after. But be honest, if you check out his YouTube, he's knowledgeable. He's knowledgeable. A lot of it is like
Hold
kind
up,
of
guys.
along the lines of Myron Golden, but he's knowledgeable. He has a little some knowledge, but it's along the lines of Myron Golden. I could tell he's probably getting coached by Myron.
Bruh. Yeah, but this is low budget. And if you're gonna be low budget, okay. As I said, and I'll go back to Derek Grace was looking low budget on a lot of his stuff. But then you saw him walk into a store that he owned, and everybody was like, "Hey, Derek, da, da, da." Yeah, I own the store, and that me and my pops." And he's "Oh, okay." He brings in the actual proof. His father worked in the government, Secret Service, so he has the ability to run a gun store and all this. He's like, "Yeah, this is in the family, so don't worry about my low ticket, low production rate YouTube videos." So he goes, "Yeah, I got you." So okay, but this guy, like, if I don't know you, what are you coming with? Is his shirt even ironed? I don't.
That's the hard part, man. Just the social proof, proving your bona fides. He's trying to do it with numbers. It's a lot, man. Just trying to what the know and trust, right? Get through that
Yeah.
process as fast as possible. So Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know where that line is, but I think people just need to be genuine. And I think Myron said best, man. Just try to figure out how you can help people. If you make
Yeah,
that your focus, yes, the money will come, but you just got to really make that like top line. Because if you don't, you will fall into that scammalicious. Because just man, I just want to make the money, and you gotta. It's a balancing act. You want to make the money, but you also got to figure out how to help the people more. Because if you focus on that,
yeah.
then guess what? They won't feel like you're trying to scam them.
You know who?
In my opinion.
Yeah, you know who scams a lot, in my
Uh oh.
opinion. Trainers.
Yes.
They just. I went to the gym and I saw some fitness trainer in there. Hey, you just do this for 3 more hours and come back next week, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is what you're telling people to do? I was like, all right, whatever. Anyway, enough on that. Talking about scams too much just gets my nerves. Uh,